BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy, and welcome to episode 399th of BRB UK. 399th, this is the 399th episode.
399, Dan,
rather,
just 399.
No, it's not 39. Don't start with that, Timothy. Do not start with that Americanization of large numbers.
Just 399. Right? Yes, 399.
Don't you bloody start either, Coleman. Seriously.
Nothing to pay, no interest for the next 2 years.
Only if you say 400 as 400 next week.
BRB UK, you can get yourself a lovely sofa in our New Year's savings for just $399. Yes.
You can sleep on Tim risk-free for 100 nights.
I can't guarantee
Nothing up front to pay.
So, Tim,
yes,
would you let our listeners sleep on you risk-free for 100 nights?
No.
No?
No.
That
sounds like a bad deal all round.
I mean, thanks to Tim's generosity and I being one of these people, he has let a good 60% of the Earth's population sleep on his sofa.
Yeah.
True. Anyway, hello, chaps.
Hi!
We're a day late this week, listeners. My apologies. Well, and Coleman's apologies and Tim's apologies, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. You never know. I may get like a super edit and this will come out at the late hours of night. So it's not a day late. It's just later in the day.
Aha.
Possibly.
Don't hold me to that, though, because
we're going to do a shorter show this week, I hope, because people did... I did get message from several people going, Jesus, that was a long show. I was like, yeah, all right, okay, fair enough. We did wish her on a wee bit, so we'll try and...
What's wrong with them? They never heard a giant bomb.
There's many a longer podcast than us.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Gersman is my spirit animal, but... I
mean, generally we try and keep to an hour to keep Coleman sane.
Well, me and Coleman do.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason why we are a little bit tardy this week is because there were all kinds of video events in lieu of large entertainment expos. And it was Nintendo's turn and then Xbox's turn. Should we do the Nintendo Mini first? Because that is extra mini. They weren't joking about the Mini. It's Nintendo flipping tiny.
Well, I think it was paper thin to go along with Paper Mario, see?
Paper Mario had nothing to do with it. The last time they did a Nintendo Direct Mini, it actually turned out to be quite large. But this one is a Nintendo Direct Mini partner showcase.
So this one was both small and far away.
Sub-mini.
Yeah.
Mini-ette.
Sure. Mini-ette, why not?
I don't think you can put an "et" to make mini sound minier.
No.
It would be a micro where you go next. You go mini and micro.
It was like a Nintendo Direct Mini Mouche Bouche.
Is it like an Almond Magnum Mini, which is the superior choice of Magnum Minis?
I don't like almond.
Don't you? No. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Cole?
Yeah, good.
They'll kill me.
Oh.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Well, then they're bad for you.
That I didn't know you had a nut allergy. I do now.
Anyway, right. Nintendo Direct Mini is a super quick one to run through. Cadence of Hyrule. There is going to be
great game. Buy it.
Yeah, there is a season pass that is available right now, and that will give you the ability to download 3 DLC packs, which I believe you will be able to download them on their own as well. One of those is available right now. That is the character pack that will get you a couple of decent-looking characters like Shadow Link. There will also be a music pack that will give you 48 remixed Zelda tracks, I believe, added to the game.
At least 3 of which you will know and recognise.
I like the Gerudo Valley theme. I hope they have that one. Good. And the last one will be an actual story mode where you will play it as the Skull Kid.
Oh, okay.
From
Left Field, like it.
Not Ocarina of Time. What was the other one?
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. I believe that was the one.
That would make sense because he had different powers for different masks, they said. No?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Although there was Skull Kids of some form in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, there
That's
were.
neither here nor there. If you don't
It's almost as if those games almost use the same assets for quite a bit of their stuff.
If you're okay holding out and you want a physical copy of the game, there will be a physical copy of the game bundled with all the DLC in October 23rd. That's going to be available.
Any idea on price on that?
I'd assume that's a full price game. I don't know.
Yeah, but if it comes in at 30, 35, totally worth every penny. Great game, Cadence of Hyrule. Really like it. It scratches my Link to the Past itch.
I'm still playing the first Crypt of the Necro Dancer because they recently had that for like £5 in a sale, so worth it.
Oh, by... No, must not say it.
Wait,
Grabthar's
where is
hammer.
he? Where is he?
By Grabthar's hammer.
There we go.
What a savings.
Two-part jingle,
I
that,
miss
by the way.
Alan Rickman.
I miss Alan Rickman.
So do I.
Rogue Company, that was announced previously. We got a look at one of the characters called Glitch, and they didn't end with going, early access is out now, or anything like that. They went, we're going to put out a tweet soon.
Yeah.
Which was the oddest announcement to put on a Nintendo stream.
Yeah. That's up there with, there's going to be an announcement about an announcement, is pretty much it.
It looks okay, but not really my thing, no?
No, me neither.
I don't think competitive FPSs on Nintendo Switch are necessarily a great fit, certainly with the stock Joy-Con thumbsticks anyway, but I'm also rubbish at those games, so it doesn't bother me.
I'm seriously considering taking my old Joy-Cons and getting some new cases and buttons and stuff and modding it, because I've tried... I was playing Duke Nukem 3D, in fact. They released that on the Switch, and the turning on those Joy-Cons are not accurate enough for me.
It's not great.
No.
It's not great.
No. Anyway, Rogue Company. WWE Battlegrounds, which looks like a solid game from 2 generations ago. This is... I
think it looks like fun.
I thought it looked fun. You can throw someone in a crocodile.
Mate, what's not to love?
There was a game called... I've spoken about this on the show before.
Finishing move I like to call the Irwinator.
There was a game called WWE Superstars, which came out on the 360 and the PS3, possibly PC as well. And it was very similar to this. It was the kind of exaggerated cartoony style of the characters. And it would be things like if John Cena throws someone up onto his shoulders and then throws them down onto the canvas, he'd throw them to his shoulders, then jump in the sky 20 foot and then throw him in the air and spin him round before dropping. So exaggerated versions of the moves. Yeah, and when I tried a demo of that, I was like, this is crap. And then when I came to London and saw it super cheap and had no internet or anything, I was like, I'm going to get this game and play the hell out of it. And I really did enjoy it. So it might be very well. I see this game down the line and really get into it. But I am not interested in pre-ordering before the 17th, 18th of September to get
but
Edge.
how much is that to do with the fact that you've been stung multiple times by WWE games?
But that's got nothing to do with
past?
it. I've bought worse games than last year's WWE offerings and still come back the next year. And I've had situations where I bought the game and then 1 month later it's come down to £20 and all the... I've had cases where they've chopped out all the stuff that's in game and then sold it back to me in DLC for the next iterations. And every time I go, I'm just not going to buy the game on release. I'm just going to buy it cheaper down the line. And I never do it.
Never learn.
Now,
Tim, it was quite refreshing, though. Me and you going, oh, yeah, this game looks like fun. And for us not to be the two grumpy old buggers for a change.
Well, it looked silly over the top and silly.
My
like
pretend
a silly,
wrestling's
fun,
not real enough,
multiplayer
innit?
fighting game, which I think could be silly and fun.
do you know what? I'll give it this, because we play, me and Tim, we'll play wrestling games around his house.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
We'll meet up and stuff. And this
Good
looks
to have a
like
good
a
four-player
more...
brawl.
Well, this one looks like a more approachable wrestling game to get to rather than the actual simulation ones, because they are quite tricky to get into if you don't know what you're doing. And they've made changes in the last couple of years to the button structures and things, so you don't really know what you're doing right off the bat. And if you've had a few, you might forget and revert to an old control system.
Yeah.
This one looks more arcadey, silly fun, so it might be good for that.
Yeah.
Splendid.
I was looking forward to it from that aspect. I think you prefer the simulation side of things, though, really. Hey, fair to say.
Then there was an announcement of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster that's coming spring 2021, followed very swiftly by Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I have a question.
Some point in 2021. Yes, Dan.
Where is number 4? Has anyone seen Shin Megami Tensei number 4?
It's not worth
Where is
a
it?
remaster
Its time is
at
up,
the moment,
coming.
probably, is what
Where
I'm
is
sensing
it?
there.
You don't do that. That's a clear, flagrant disregard of how to count up from 1 to 5.
I've never played any of the games in the series, though. Have you?
Well, neither have I. I haven't got a bloody clue what they're about.
I'd like to hand in my my hardcore gamer nerd card now and just go. What's Shin Megami Tensei?
It's a game I've always
it's
heard
a game,
of,
mate.
Don't. Yeah.
I'm assuming JRPG.
Its themes don't appeal to me. It looks JRPG and a bit kind of like a horror and demon based kind of thing. So
I think the term is cult classic.
I've seen. Well, if they've had 5 games, then it's got to be more than cult classic. But I've seen a lot of people online complaining about the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase because of this very reason. Like, I don't care about Shin Megami Tensei. I saw one person go, I can't wait for Shin Megami Tensei 5, and that was our friend Rick, so good for Rick.
Hey, good old Rick.
I mean, there's people that speak highly of the series and like it, so I guess
they
this
just
is
talk
good news for
people,
them.
though, speaking about it, Tim.
But as you say, overall, I thought the Nintendo Direct Mini didn't really have anything of interest for me, basically.
No, I mean, I think if you haven't yet picked up Cadence of Hyrule, wait a bit till the DLC's out. You'll probably get a good deal in it.
I'm not that interested in that generally. But
it's a great game, though, Tim.
Yes,
you should.
But not
it's
all great games are
As
enjoyed
Tim's
by all
not
people.
big into Zelda or rhythm games.
Yeah.
You kind of lost him on both there.
Exactly.
If it was Cadence of Rise, would you be interested?
I'm well past the point in my gaming career where I feel I have to play every game to establish the fact that I'm a gamer.
Have you been doing some esports?
Is that E3's Tim Hibbs?
Yes. It's exactly what I meant.
Right.
Korea.
Wow, Tim. Never knew you were so professional.
Focus on one slightly misplaced word in a whole sentence. That's exactly how we do it. Hey,
if my girlfriend ever goes, I'm playing video games too long, we'll be like, don't mess with my career, woman. Do you think that'll work?
No.
I think it'll work in getting you a slap.
Yeah, I'd have to work hard for that.
Especially if you put the word woman at the end of it as well. That's just kind of a lovely juxtaposition of modern day technological fun here's the 1950s with a side order of misogyny.
It's just one of those cute things we do.
Really, is
man,
it?
Which she calls me man, I call her woman. That's what we do. Okay.
Do you both have short-term memory problems?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Very good comment. Very good. Very good.
Would you like to talk about Xbox The Games Showcase?
Yes.
Okay, then.
The Showcase of Games. Brought to you by Microsoft Xbox.
Oh, that's exciting.
So 1 month and 1 week onwards from the PlayStation Showcase where they revealed the PlayStation and a bunch of games, Xbox they've already shown off their console, so now it's time to show off more games after the last Inside Xbox stream they did where not many people were very impressed. Now they have to kind of show what they got. And they really showed their hands to begin with because they went for Halo Infinite straight off the bat. And I'm just going to I'm going to pepper in a couple of questions we got from the listeners as well. Bleezy Boy on Twitter, he has asked, will Halo Infinite be the greatest game of all time? And why is that answer yes?
Because you're biased why is that answer is yes.
I mean, the answer is yes because Bleezy is asking the question.
Ever since he had to have that Master Chief helmet surgically removed from his colon, he's, frankly not been able to have a well-balanced opinion on the joy that is Halo. I
mean, he's very dedicated to his career in video games.
He is. I mean, look, I'm just glad he's been able to make a professional career out of it. Not everyone can. Not all of us are Tim Hibbs.
Take your vitamins, say your prayers.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you can reach the lofty heights of
you could be the hunk chunk of love that is Tim Hibbs if you play your cards right.
Stay in school, kids. Or don't, and play video games.
Does the thought of being Timothy Hibbs make you moist?
I don't know about you guys. We'll go through that. So, yes, why will Halo Infinite be the greatest game of all time? It won't, but Bleezy, I'm so happy you're happy. I was thinking how you were feeling about this game trailer.
And hey, it's okay. What is your best game of all time? Might not be my best game of all time. And
exactly.
That's okay.
One man's trash is another one's Halo.
Whoa. All right. Jesus. I was trying to be nice there.
I'm kidding. A lot of people were complaining about this trailer, and Microsoft have had to come out and say, "Hey, that's a build of the game. That's not the full finished game. It's going to look different when it's done." I thought this. I mean, first of all, when they showed the start screen, I was like, "Oh, we're actually proper. They're really showing that this is actual gameplay and not a pre-rendered thing." And then when it started, I just thought that was very unfortunate to start by looking at the character that's with Master Chief, his face model, because I mean, it doesn't look that amazing, so you shouldn't be showing. That shouldn't be the first thing you show in this game. But otherwise, it looked very Halo.
It looked very... Okay, so here's the thing, and this is on a couple of the games that they showed off, and I know we've, between the three of us, mostly me probably, gone on about that actually you're not going to see the big jump in visual fidelity that was so obvious, say, going from the 360 to the Xbox One or the PS3 to the PS4, or indeed PS2 to PS3. And I think that was quite evident throughout a lot of the showcase, where they were going, hey, look, guys, this is running at 4K at 60 frames a second. And unfortunately, that just doesn't come across that well on highly compressed video on a YouTube stream. And
I had to go back and watch later.
Yeah, but they've also released screenshots as well, so I don't think you can entirely explain it away. Like,
I mean, I think the real difference is only going to be noticeable once you see things in motion in this generation, I think. And it's lots of little subtle things that are going to make the difference. But that being said, I was a little underwhelmed by the visuals of Halo Infinite. I don't think it looked bad, but I was surprised that it didn't look better.
Perhaps. Exactly the same sort of thing. I thought overall the gameplay looked fun, graphically, especially as it's their kind of massive tentpole kind of game that is the headline kind of act.
Bleezy's got a tentpole about it.
I don't think it shows off graphically compared to what Sony's already showed that their platform can do.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think the PS5's that far. Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, you're not really comparing apples with apples when you're comparing the visuals of one game against another.
I was graphically impressed with things in the PlayStation presentation, more so than I was in any of the games that they showed. Halo Infinite being, as I said, the main culprit, just because it is the kind of main thing they're hanging their hat on, especially at launch. No?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's difficult because they were trying to make a big thing or imply that Halo was kind of open world or open ring, I suppose, technically. Got to be careful if you don't have enough fibre in your diet with an open ring.
Open ring.
An open ring. That's what I'm sticking to. It's an open ring game.
Open ring simulator.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently it's not a true open world game either. So it's, I'm a little worried that the expectations are so high for Halo Infinite that I do worry if it's ever going to be able to meet those expectations, in much the same way that Halo 5 never really did. I mean, that's for a whole host of reasons. But it looks like the brutes are now kind of the main antagonist, although the kind of big beardy brute, that little monologue he had into the camera, I kept expecting him to invite me to snap into a Slim Jim or something like that. Had that kind of had that wrestling kind of air to it.
It did seem like he was cutting a promo.
Master Chief, I'm coming for you, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So doing something about making his ring open. I don't know.
I thought, I mean, especially when it was going up the kind of outdoor elevator platform, and you get the look at the kind of sweeping backgrounds, and I thought all that looked very nice and impressive, and it is a very pretty looking game. However, I've always struggled with the Halo games. I've only ever beaten Halo 3. I've never been able to get into them. The story doesn't really interest me. The characters don't interest me and stuff. And then when I got into Destiny and then went back to Halo, it's like, wow, this is slow. I can't play this game.
Yeah, I mean, Halo to me, and that I think's been some of a problem. I mean, because I went back and gave Halo 3 another look. Now it's part of the Master Chief Collection. It just feels quite dated, and I do worry sometimes that the kind of the slavish the slavish way that it kind of sticks to that same old formula because, well, that's how Halo is. Sometimes I think to the game's detriment, rather.
I also feel like the addition of a grapple hook is not that impressive.
Really, I thought that could work really well with gameplay, considering that the kind of melee thing has always been a popular way of doing stuff. That means that you can pull yourself towards someone, and they showed it like pulling stuff towards you.
Although he's asking for trouble, if he's putting Cortana's chip in the back of his head and he accidentally fires a grappling hook, that's not going to be good times. Just saying. Yep. Not going to be good times.
Yeah, I just got the impression of slow Doom when I was watching this the gameplay trailer. Anyway, if you are interested, it's coming out holiday 2020, and that is not just on the Xbox Series X and the PC, but it will also be on Xbox One, and it'll be available on Game Pass, of course.
Absolutely. Well, actually,
so we'll all probably play it.
Yeah,
that is actually the big thing here from Xbox's announcement. Yeah. And again, this kind of feeds into, I think, Xbox and Microsoft viewing gaming as kind of a platform, not a console as a platform, but kind of their offering of stuff as a platform that people dip into.
This would be, if Ubisoft didn't sully it, it would have been the perfect time to call this games as service.
Well,
it would be, wouldn't it?
But I think they are going and positioning themselves as several people have pointed out as the Netflix of games. Basically, that's where they are positioning themselves, and I think that's actually quite a wise position to put themselves in. I think it's an extremely good position them as well.
That no matter what device you've got in front of you, and we've said this before, the bundling in of xCloud, which I think we predicted, is it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. And what's interesting is that I'm really excited about kind of the direction Microsoft and Xbox are going, but I don't necessarily know if I'm actually going to buy a Series X. And I've got a phone and my PC, and if I can play on those two things, then.
But that's the thing. I think if you have a PC, they're positioning themselves that you just don't need a console. You just don't. Well,
that's kind of why PlayStation and Xbox are in two very different positions for this generation coming up, I think. You will have the diehards that are like, yes, I need my Xbox, but you have converted PC crowds to play your games, but not just play your games, but subscribe to your service to do so over PlayStation. So PlayStation have a need to buy a console, Xbox has a need to play their games and use their service, and I'm more on board for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they actually say that everything they show. We'll go through the rest of the games.
Everything in this show was going to be on Game Pass in some form,
which is just that is insane. How that just the amount of stuff you're going to get. Obviously, stuff cycles in and cycles out from it.
Yeah,
but
that's like an open ring.
It's a pretty good. What slide in and slide out like an open ring? What? That would be the noise I would make if I had an open ring.
Right. Not all games will be covered as in depth as we can with Halo Infinite, because
not all of them are an open ring game, are they?
Not all of them had many details either, though. To be fair.
Exactly. For instance, we found the existence of State of Decay 3, but it was done with a pre-rendered trailer.
Zombie deer.
I don't know about you guys. I really liked State of Decay 1 because it basically felt like GTA Zombie. Mm-hmm. But then as the game opened up, it turned into a tower defense game, and a janky one at that.
Then I'm with you on that.
And then the second one I've installed several times and have never actually started the game, and uninstalled for space, and I still haven't got around to it. So I have no idea if they got any better.
Yeah. Zombie Bambi, though.
Yeah.
Zombie Bambi.
Oh, yeah, Zombie Deer. That was weird. The open face and stuff, yeah. Forza Motorsport, we didn't get any gameplay, but it was a pre-rendered trailer done in-engine.
Yes, so there was no actual racy, zoomy, but apparently it's 4K 60 as just about everything is. But there was some evidence of some ray tracing goodness to give it the extra shininess. I think one of the things that was most telling, and someone I think on our Discord picked this up as well, it wasn't Forza Motorsport 8.
Yes.
It was just Forza Motorsport.
Gritty reboot.
And it's Halo Infinite and also other games
it's
coming
Halo
up.
What?
Infinite?
Halo
Infinite.
Yeah.
Damn it, you said it right the second time. You went infinite. Infinite. Forza Motorsport.
The point being that,
Chocobo.
it sounds like all of their major games they're positioning as platforms that they can add content to ad infinitum rather than being something that they upgrade throughout the generation.
Yeah,
Games
so, I mean,
as a service.
I mean, but I don't. I mean, I don't think they indicated whether or not Forza was going to be available at launch. But
I think they've said
I doubt
won't.
it is.
No, in fact, Aaron Greenberg in an interview in the post show said that it's not this year; it's next.
Okay, fair enough.
Or not
Flipped
this
the bird
year.
at the camera and passed out.
Yeah, but.
I mean, Forza's been pretty consistent in being a pretty great racing game year on year, and if they can bring the graphical hotness that they're promising, then I think it'll be super fun times indeed.
Yeah, and in the meantime, there will be the Forza Horizon 4 is going to be brought over to Xbox Series X with all the lovely bells and whistles added to it. So,
I do love some bells and whistles.
I do love some bells and whistles. Attach them to my car so you can hear me coming.
I think I ended up spending more time in Gran Turismo than Forza games, and I think Gran Turismo showed off more than Forza has already. No, I don't know when either of them are necessarily out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm happy to play more Horizon though because I haven't finished it.
yeah, Horizon's more fun for me. But that's the thing; they didn't really indicate whether this was just Forza, as in the kind of sim side, or whether this is going to incorporate Horizon bits at some point.
I reckon.
I imagine it will.
The thing is,
Possibly.
as the development team behind Horizon are now working on a different title, I think this might be the all-encompassing version of Forza we're getting, and that's why it's taking the break.
Well, I think that actually feeds in with what they're doing on the PC. There's and on the Xbox as well, I believe there's like the Forza hub where they're trying to basically bring all of Forza into one location, and I think this is probably just the next iteration of that.
Again, it's on Game Pass. I'll definitely play it at some point, hopefully. The one thing overall that we hadn't got into yet that continues to confuse me throughout this presentation is...
Gravity, is it?
No,
Gravity?
gravity, obviously.
Science.
But
The
beyond
English
that...
language.
No,
Magnets.
I'm really confused as to what I need to buy an Xbox Series X for in terms of which of these games are exclusive to that as a platform and which of these can I play via xCloud on my current platform, or which are available on PC for you guys. I don't know that at the moment. No, it didn't.
No.
That's something they didn't seem to make very clear throughout the presentation.
And I don't think so for instance, I think you'll be able to play Halo Infinite on your Xbox One through xCloud, but it will be the Xbox One version rather than the Xbox Series X. I think they're going to tie those platforms to the platforms.
But they didn't make
basically
that clear at all.
No, they haven't. And it might be completely different. They might go, "Hey, we'll stream it to your whatever if you've got it."
And to be honest, it's probably not in their interest to get too specific into those details yet. I think. They're just managing expectations.
But I'm just saying, from a consumer perspective, I don't know why I need an Xbox Series X at all at the moment, and I don't know...
Because you love spending money.
I don't know if I don't need one, and I don't know if I do.
Because if you don't buy one, it will make Bleezy sad.
Well, at the moment, I'm not planning on picking one up on day one at the moment, but that's probably financially motivated.
Bleezy.
Let's see.
I will go for the platform I'm looking forward to, and then I will wait till the other one drops in price. But in this case, I don't see myself getting the Xbox because I have a PC, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Next, Everwild from
I
Rare.
have a question.
I also, but you do your question first.
What the hell is this about then?
Okay,
Everwild.
I was going to say, I was going to put my question.
No one really knows.
Everwild. I still don't know why I should care.
No.
It looks nice, and it's made by Rare.
I mean, the lady who's the creative, who's the game developer lead on it, she seems like a lovely person. I quite happily have a chat with her. She seems great. I have no idea what the hell the game's about, though.
No, none.
I'm assuming for
graphically nice.
player living out in the open world, in the open ring, and looking for using mystical powers and I don't bloody know.
Resurrecting deer from the dead is
It may as well be called Everwild.
Zombie deer.
Zombie deer again.
Zombie deer. Right, okay, so you're creating the zombie deer that go into State Decay 3. Gotcha.
Right.
You're
making enemies for other games.
Starts. I like it. Then moving on, we've got Tell Me Why on August the 27th. This is the new one from the, I've forgotten the studio's names. Don't Nod Entertainment. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just, I mean, I know I play all the Telltale games and stuff and get into those, but the stuff from Don't Nod, even though I really like the look of the stuff they bring out, the stories are just, I feel like I'm
It's
about
heavy.
10 years too old to play them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's,
Yeah, they just don't appeal to me very much. But what was the one they did just before they started getting into that kind of series of games as well?
Stranger Than...
It was more of a fighting game, I think, no?
Flip.
Game.
It was Remember Me.
Yes. See, and I forgot it.
Which is a great game.
Yeah.
I really liked that game.
Yeah. I'd kind of rather they put their time into not necessarily that sort of game, but, you know, other things. But
the thing is, that game was developed as a PlayStation exclusive, and then PlayStation dropped them. And then they got picked up by Capcom, and then it didn't do very well until it went to PlayStation Plus. Like, I'd probably give up on making a third-person action brawler game if I had that kind of luck with it.
I'm not saying I want them to necessarily go back to that, but I wouldn't mind seeing them do something different to what they're doing now that just doesn't appeal to it. Because they seem like talented developers that make good games that I don't necessarily...
But that said, they did the Life is Strange stuff, and they have a huge fan base for it, and they love their story. You know, they know what their fan base likes, and more power to them for doing it. They made that, or they're still making that game that we previewed like 2 years ago, Tim. The one by Namco Bandai.
Yes.
Bandai Namco.
I can't remember the name, but it's kind of detective and...
Yeah, where you go into like a dream state and solve mysteries and stuff. And I liked the look of that one. That had more of a story I was on board with. But yeah, more power to them. Doesn't look like a bad game, just doesn't look like a Coleman game.
No, and again, I think kind of I know it's not, this is obviously a game that isn't about pushing graphical boundaries, it's about the storytelling that it's doing, but I did think quite a lot of it spent a lot of time meandering around the uncanny valley in the trailer. It didn't look great. It wasn't it wasn't a great advertisement for the kind of the alleged graphical powerhouse that is the Series
That's the
X.
thing, I thought this whole presentation was slightly lacking a few punches like that.
But a lot of those things are because a lot of these games are on current gen with the next gen. But yeah, hey. But there's no downgrades in next gen with this current gen. We got that's it. The news of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, that is coming to Xbox Series X. That will be on Game Pass.
No surprise.
Could anyone else on the YouTube stream really tell the difference?
I really couldn't tell. This looks so much nicer.
What I thought was hilarious. So they're basically they're upping the frame rate from 60 FPS to 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X. Mm-hmm. If you bought the game on the Xbox One, then you will automatically have that on the Xbox Series X. But it'll also be available on Game Pass. The way they decided to demonstrate that there is double the frame rate is by slowing the video down with a split screen. Yep. I went, this frame rate is crap. We're going to display 120 frames a second by playing it at 5 frames a second.
I mean, it always makes it's a bit like when they try on like an Amazon ad page to show you the benefits of a 240 hertz display versus a 61, where it's like the 60 is like smeared everywhere. It's like, it's not how it works, really.
You're looking at it on your 720p laptop.
This is not that surprising news, and kind of like cool. I liked the game. I played it a little bit on Game Pass.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And if it looks nicer and shinier, then great. But again, not really a reason to buy an Xbox Series X. No.
Outer Worlds has a DLC pack called Peril on Gorgon coming September the 9th, and I remembered, wow, I really got into that game, and then it just dropped off my radar.
Yep. I mean, I was a bit surprised that, oh wow, this is actually getting essentially a prime time slot in the Xbox lineup of things. I kind of thought that we'd all moved on a bit from Outer Worlds.
The best moment in this was when they said, "If you're waiting for the biggest," was this the one that did? If you're waiting for the biggest,
no,
game?
that's one bit further on.
That's coming up next.
So that wasn't even that. So yeah, like exactly like you, Coleman. I got really into it for a while. The major thing that put me off it was the massive loading times whenever you moved between areas, and the quest that demanded you do that several times in a row.
Once I got my new PC and they put it on Game Pass, and I was like, yes, I'm going to play this on PC on the Game Pass. I was playing it on Xbox anyway, so I'll be able to move my save over to the No, can't do that. No cross-save feature between PC and Xbox.
It's not a game you want to restart either, really.
I might, but only because enough time has passed that I've forgotten where I got to on the Xbox. So
good work.
Yeah. Grounded, which looks really nice, and I believe you can play trials of that on the Xbox now and on Steam as well. It's coming to early access officially on the 28th of July, and as Tim alluded to, they did a nice little trailer where they went, if you're waiting for the biggest game of this year, you want to wait for Cyberpunk 2077, but if you want to play a game where it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, here you go.
No, zany. Those
Definitely
kids.
very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But
this looks a very rare-esque trailer, I thought.
This looked kind of fun, but it could look like it might go a bit too Fortnite for my tastes, possibly.
Yeah, it very much is wants to be Fortnite.
I think it's because it's grounded by it being a 4-player cooperative or mess your mate over. It's more, I don't know, a little bit Minecraft mixed with kind of Left 4 Dead. I don't know.
Although don't spiders give you the absolute willies, Coleman?
Absolutely terrifying.
So massive spiders definitely for you, yeah? Spiders
I'm thinking,
as big
Tim,
as your house.
We could have some fun here.
So, my girlfriend has discovered Uncharted for the first time. She's big into the Last of Us, but never played Uncharted.
Uncharted's so good.
So we both played through at the same time. She was playing on her PlayStation, I'm playing on mine. We both played through the first game, and now she's carried on into the second, and now she's on to the third. And I go in to help with the puzzles every now and then, but she was in something. I was going, there's something about this level that I really hated, and I can't remember what it was. And then all these spiders stuff.
There it is, right there.
And then I cradled into the fetal position, hit the floor, cried until she finished.
Nice.
There we go. Outer Worlds. Sorry, not Outer Worlds. Grounded. July 28th. That's coming to Game Pass as well. I will probably give this a go, and then a spider will appear, and I'll cry and switch it off because I'm a big girly baby man.
Do you know what I didn't have enough of in the early bits of this kind of video reel from Xbox?
Go on then.
Games that I don't have a chuffing clue what they're about, and I think we need more of them. Like Avowed. What's that about?
Well, that was a nice surprise, but clearly a way off, no?
Obsidian got hired to make a Fallout game, and then
now they've got hired to make
had a bit of
an Elder Scrolls one.
Well, they had a bit of a Bethesda falling out, so they went, okay, we're going to make our own Fallout.
Very good.
And it's
Bethesda
called
Fallout.
And they went, we're going to make our own Fallout. It's called The Outer Worlds, and it did very well, and people were happy with it. And they went, okay, now we're going to go make the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was to be Elder Scrolls, and that's as much info as we have.
And also, they're becoming a publisher as well as a developer because they are publishing Avowed.
Okay.
Not Avowed, sorry. They're publishing As Dusk Falls.
As Dusk Falls, yeah, okay. I thought.
Which is a new studio they've discovered, which seems to be a lot of... so it's kind of done like a graphic novel, and they were showing people like doing the poses, acting out scenes and stuff, and then they were just kind of...
I quite like
sketching over them. Yeah, it's got a nice look to it. They were kind of sketching over in essentially Photoshop what it looked like to make a more animated style and then play it frame like every 20th frame or so. I like the look of it, but again, not a game for Coleman. I don't think. I find these kind of games a bit.
I find that intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like, I really like the art style of it, and I think it looks like an exceptionally well done motion comic where there's just enough motion there to make the world feel alive, but it doesn't overdo it. But yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell exactly what the game itself is going to be like from what they show, but I think it looks lovely.
This kind of reminds me of, I think the reason I don't like these, did you ever see the kind of Marvel cartoons before they actually made proper cartoons? And it was essentially a camera pointing at a comic and they'd move over panels while some guy does all the voices. Like, I saw a lot of those as a kid and it just reminds me of that. I'm like, Titanium Man has come for you, Iron Man. That kind of stuff. Anyway, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. They said they're going to set it in Iceland and didn't really show us much other than Iceland.
Still need to play the first one.
Yeah, still need my mum to come back from there.
Oh, I didn't know Kerry Katona was your mum.
We got the same nose.
Good news, you'll be back with some prawn rings, so you're okay.
Oh, you got to be
Excellent.
careful with prawn wings. If they turn, you'll have a right open ring,
You
mate.
don't want an open prawn ring.
Yeah, open prawn ring.
We got Psychonauts 2, which has been delayed to 2021, which they very kind of
Brushed under the carpet.
yeah. Which the trailer was done with Tim Schafer and a homeless man singing.
Yes.
Some guy was selling Big Issues, and they went, "Can you come in and do a bit of a sing song?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, do you like the Doors? I've got a cracking song that sounds like the Doors."
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know.
Got some lungs on
I
him.
know everyone thinks Psychonauts is the best thing ever. The original kind of passed me by. I'm not going to lie.
Well, this definitely looks like a sequel that's 19 years after a game came out.
Yes.
But I do like Psychonauts, and I do like the story of Psychonauts, and I am excited to play it. I'm not in a rush to play it, but I am excited to play it.
The graphical style's really weird to me. It doesn't appeal to me for some reason, even though similar
there's
things
something-
do.
Yeah, there's something unsettling about the character design for me. I don't know what it is.
And not
It's
unsettling
meant
in
to be
a
unsettling.
Tim Burton kind of way that I find somewhat
Yeah, it's got
endearing.
that kind of
Tim
Nightmare
Schafer.
Before
Tim Schafer,
Christmas.
mate. From Tim.
It's got
No,
that kind of Nightmare Before Christmas style
but
to
for
it.
me, that's what it is. I think it doesn't quite have that. It doesn't have the appeal of a Tim Burton thing. Like the kind of there's some niceness to the scariness almost kind of thing, and that doesn't seem to. I don't know.
To me, I just think the character's face looks like a badly applied texture map where it's kind of just gone.
Because I also like the idea of the game, like going into different people's minds and those being different worlds and different levels you play through. I quite like that idea. Keep on meaning to give the VR game a go. I don't know if you've tried that, Coleman. No.
No, I've not. I keep forgetting they made that. But the VR game is essentially, if I remember correctly, it's meant to be like a catch up. Like an in-betweequel. It's a catch-up of what happened in Psychonauts 1 if you don't want to go back and play Psychonauts 1 because it's a 19-year-old 3D game. So it's a bit of a struggle for a lot of people. So play it in VR instead. Yeah.
So if you want to play a game from Double Fine and their celebrity makes you look a bit like a homeless person.
It's weird that, by the way, this is Jack Black, if you haven't watched the stream.
Yeah.
We're winding up. Jack Black's got a really crap-looking beard, but massive crap-looking beard. So
I mean,
there
I'm
you
just
go.
impressed. Rather than the fact the beard went long, it just went
It's gone
sideways.
outwards, yeah.
It's incredible. It defies gravity, Jack Black's
He
beard.
looks like he invented steamboats and then grew
Oh,
mad.
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, Destiny news. Destiny is coming. Well,
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass along with all its DLC and the upcoming Beyond Light expansion.
There's
and,
a little bit of an asterisk there.
Okay.
Why?
Because, yes, you get the new Beyond... You get the new Beyond Light expansion, but you don't get the Season Pass content. You will still have to purchase that separately.
Okay, well, which leads me to a question from one of our listeners, Matt, on Twitter. He said, how does Dan feel about the D2 and DLC coming to Game Pass?
Once he'd calmed down.
It's one less copy of it I have to buy.
Yeah. And then he gets
To be
two
perfectly
for the
honest.
price of one.
No, I mean, because I don't know where Bungie are going. They've made murmurs about cross-play between PC, PS4 and Xbox before. But if they can't, although there's cross-save, which is a great start, don't get me wrong, at least if it was on Game Pass, I could then now play with my buddies who've been concentrating on playing it on Xbox. So that would be a good thing. But the one thing about the Season Pass content is if you do buy the Season Pass on any platform, it then is unlocked on all the other platforms you play on. Yeah, so if you bought the Season Pass on PC, all of that content would be unlocked on your Xbox.
So I can go back and play on the PlayStation with all the DLC that I bought on Steam.
You would need to buy Shadowkeep, but would, if you had if you'd unlock the Season Pass, you would have that content available.
Wow, that's really cool. I like that. Is this Game Pass PC as well as the Xbox Series X? Did they say that?
It wasn't massively clear. I think the implication was that it probably would be.
Because this will be one of those games that I can't play because it goes, oh, you've got multiplayer on your game. We can't. Oh no, I haven't installed properly. Can you reinstall me 7 times and try again?
Hey, look, not everything has got the wonderful user experience that Fallout 76 does, mate. Not every game can aspire to those depths.
Halo bloody did it to me yesterday. I'm starting to second guess this Game Pass stuff, but hey. Stalker 2, which Stalker wasn't that like a 20-year-old game as well.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Hasn't been heard of for a while, no.
Yeah, that's coming out next year. So interesting.
I think was this known? I think this was already known as in development. Just wasn't known it was coming for Xbox, or was that?
Yeah, I think it was just a PC announcement at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. Warhammer's making zombie games, by the way.
Hey, well, basically, it's Vermintide, but with guns, pretty much.
And there was a deer in there. I saw him. He had a big old face
zombie
hanging
deer.
off.
Zombie
deer.
deer.
Zombie deer was in there.
Spice Marine.
Zombie Deer's been in 3 games now.
To be fair, they had a lot of zombies. They had more zombies than the other zombies games that we'd seen so far.
Yeah, they had Days Gone and amounts of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a whole.
Do you know what I
would
love? What I would bloody love?
Zombies. We just said
zombie deer.
Dan
Love
loves
them.
zombies.
Ooh,
Deer
love a zombie
zombie.
deer. Zombie venison. Mwah, it's just absolutely. It's got a bit of a kick to it, but it's where it's at. I would just love to see a kind of almost like a roguelite Space Hulk game. I would Space Hulk. Love it.
Well, I mean, with the kind of rate of different types of games they're pumping out there, I think if you just write to Warhammer, they'll probably make that.
Right to what? Dear Mr. Warhammer.
Dear Warhammer, could you work with Don't Nod Entertainment and make a new episodic story game about
from what I've seen of the
young
Space
love?
Hulk games, whenever they've done the remakes of the sort of tactical turn-based stuff, they've been okay. Whenever they've tried anything else, they just haven't done it very well.
Vermintine's all right.
No,
That's not Space Hulk, though, mate.
Restricting things to Space Hulk over the years, not necessarily recent stuff
Gotcha.
like that. But yeah, they actually seem to be really sort of playing heavily into the video game worlds at the moment, and I think they've got a chance of creating some interesting kind of universes to mess around in. Though, don't know if this is one of them necessarily, but we'll see.
Tetris Effect is getting it's coming out past VR and into other platforms as well. But they are bringing out a new version called Tetris Effect Connected, which now I was looking at the
Can I
details
see a
for
bottom
this.
of an Avatar shoe? Oh, not that Connect.
No,
not that
There it
Connect.
is.
Oh,
No. So Connected. So
Connected.
summer 2021. It's Tetris with all the cool hunky effects and stuff that they do.
Hunky
in Tetris
effects?
Effect.
Hunky.
Yes, hunky
Hunky.
effects. Definitely not funky like I actually said. And then you can play what look like battles but co-op as well, which I don't think I've ever seen cooperative Tetris before.
Capples.
But I like that idea. Now
lots of
this
stuff about
is down-
multiplayer, but
yeah. Now this is weird because I read on some sites that this is a free update if you already have Tetris Effect.
really?
But on other sites saying that it's DLC for Tetris Effect, and then other sites saying it's a new game entirely. So I'm really confused.
Yeah,
but it's meant to be coming summer 2021.
Hey! I mean, it
Good.
looks... Hey, but I'm looking forward to the optimized single player. I don't know how the hell you have to optimize Tetris.
They have to take the VR off of it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
but I'm gonna definitely not play it on again. This is on Game Pass. That's good. I think having a multiplayer Tetris game on Game Pass, it's proved that Tetris 99 was popular on Switch. So I can see this being popular as well. And look, the more people get to play this game, they've named this after one of the title tracks that was the main track that they kind of previewed the game with as well, and they showed off a remixed version of that. If you get a remixed version of that tune and some remix of some other stuff, I could see myself paying for the extra DLC. I need to go back and play more of this game though from the initial one because I really like it and I haven't played enough of it. But yeah,
what this has successfully done is made me go, maybe I won't buy that PSVR version. I'll just wait for this Game Pass version and play it without having a thing on my head.
I'd seriously consider getting it on PlayStation just so you can do one or the other.
No, I'll just go around yours and play your version.
Well, you can do that too.
Put my mask on, then put the headset on.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Oh, very
Well covered.
The Gunk from the creators of SteamWorld Everything.
yeah. little bit mystified about this game, other than you've got a big gunk hoover.
I'd kind of rather it was a SteamWorld game. I was a bit disappointed it wasn't after seeing their logo, to be honest.
I put this down as Reverse Mario Sunshine.
Ooh, kinda.
He's sucking instead of blowing, so which is basically Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit like that's what it made me think of him, and it was just like Luigi's Man Sky is kind of the feel I got for it. But without the interplanetary shenanigans.
It took me a bit to get over the initial disappointment.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is a puzzle platformer. Looks nice. Yeah. If it is, I like puzzle platformers. I'll play this. The Medium. It's a kind of horror type of detective game coming December this year, and they do that thing where they're like, there's two worlds, and you can mix into one. I actually really hate that mechanic in every game that has ever done it. So
hey, but this renders the world simultaneously, Coleman.
I have no idea what difference that makes, and why would I care? Does it just mean you can simultaneously, instantaneously jump between the two? Yeah.
Or are the two rendered next to each other at all times, and you have to react to things in one world from another in real time? That could be interesting if it does that. I'm not necessarily saying that will make for a great game, but it would be interesting.
Great Gyna Sisters on the Xbox 360 does that. So,
okay, fair enough. Jesus.
Anyway, but yeah, it's again, all these are going to be coming to Game Pass. So I'll happily give it a go. New Genesis Fantasy Online Star Online 2.
Well, thank God, because I was tired of hacking a decades-old Dreamcast to play Fantasy Star Online.
I know someone that was very, very happy about this news.
I mean, people have been clamouring for a new PSO for a while.
Yes. But, kind of friend of the show, Godfrey from Game and Tag Radio, has been going on about it for literally the last 20 years. So I knew he'd be happy when this announcement came out.
Isn't this also like a 20-year anniversary or a 30-year anniversary of PSO? So, it's a big thing to coincide with that. It's got its audience. I am not one of those people in the audience.
Possibly.
Crossfire X.
Is this the one that was made by one bloke?
No, I think that's coming up PS4. That is... Oh, God damn it.
No, that was the one they showed off of the previous Xbox.
Right, yeah.
Oh, no, maybe you're right. Altered
Xbox.
Something.
Altered Beast on the Mega Drive. And also Xbox Series X.
Altered Ring.
Yeah, it was shown at the previous thing. I wasn't sure if that was just more of this, or is this something else?
This is something else, and it did not capture me whatsoever because I was too excited for the next thing, and it's Fable. They're making Fable. There's actually a Fable game, and it better not be a pissing MMO or a tower defense game or one of my friends has a tablet and they're setting me obstacle. I want a normal flipping Fable game.
Well, Molyneux's probably not involved, so yeah, stand a
He's
fighting
not involved.
chance.
You just want to
not involved, so
games.
you stand a fighting chance of it actually being a game.
Yeah, these are the guys
than it being a wonderful multi-sensory experience.
This is the long-rumoured project for the guys who make Forza Horizon. So this is now what they're doing, Fable.
Yeah.
I'm up for that. And it was, it had that Fable charm to it. They went, oh, look, mystical, magical, frogs eating a
It definitely had the right sort of humour, which is good. People were saying that was Stephen Fry doing the voiceover, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I don't think
it was.
I thought it was a Stephen Fry alike. I could be wrong.
Exactly. It was Stephen Microchips, is what I would say, rather than being full-on Fry.
Stephen Fry is in 2 of the games, so
either I haven't
it would
heard
make sense
recently, or it was someone just doing a fairly good impression of him.
It's definitely not Stephen Fry.
I could be wrong, but I didn't think it was.
It's definitely ain't Stephen Fry.
It was. I mean, usually those trailers are announced by. They're narrated by. I forgot her name. Thurza, the mum from My Family. If you remember My Family. In Harry Potter,
I don't remember your family, Coleman.
No, the
Mrs. Coleman.
If you remember, in the first Harry Potter film,
right?
You got the teacher who teaches them how to use brooms, but then never appears in another Harry Potter film.
So we want to make her.
Yeah, she's usually the narrator voice for Fable. Plus, she plays like I think in the first game she's like the sister of the hero, but then from all the other games she's like this big prophet who's the same character. But yeah, she's like the voice of that world. So it was strange to not hear her voice doing the trailer and
it
hearing
could be her voice. You don't know.
Stephen Fry-like instead.
It could be Zoe Wanamaker trying out a Stephen Fry impression for you, know?
Sure.
Could be.
Of course it was.
I think it could be.
Also, I like you got that name from a Harry Potter reference. Something Dan's not telling us.
He is Harry Potter.
I'm off doing my second doctorate while I'm reading all these Harry Potter books. Yeah. Good.
Man, God damn it.
Right. Another question from Matt on Twitter. What world premiere excited you guys the most? For me, it was Fable, just because of the name Fable. I like Fable.
Everything kind of got a bit of a meh.
Like,
For me?
I didn't think this was a great show and had lots of amazing games for me to go mad at. I was just very excited for Fable.
I mean, right. I don't know about you. Like, did you get to hear that Fable was coming out before they announced it? Because it was heavily leaked the week before. And
it wasn't. I didn't catch the leaks beforehand, but
so it wasn't a surprise
following.
For me, so that kind of
I have been following the news for about 3 years that this game has been in production.
And kind of there'd been it'd been rumored for a while and was heavily rumored it was going to be announced here, and that kind of seemed to make too much sense that it wasn't a surprise for me. So that wasn't a good. It wasn't really a good punch ending. As I said, I think it could have done with a few more tentpoles, or at least a few more details on some of them. Like, it would have been nice to see a bit more of Forza Motorsport and exactly what that will entail. And yeah, there wasn't enough for me to really get excited about any of them, to be honest. Like, if anything stood out for me, it was the fact that Halo Infinite gameplay looked really good fun.
Yeah, I didn't like the kind of lack of gameplay in this show, which has been a problem with a lot of different streams at the moment. But at the same time, I just go back on my word and went, "Oh, pre-rendered trailer for Fable, yay!"
But saying that, the one bit of kind of this is real gameplay they did show was from Halo Infinite. But I thought that was really weird that they didn't seem to pick the sequence particularly well. It kind of felt like it should have had a narration over the top or something like that. It's just like, oh, well, we're driving about the Warthog slightly aimlessly, and here's a map, and we're going to go over and do a thing. I suppose, I don't know.
I think that's because if you have a narrator to Halo, then you're expecting like the kind of thematic, the kind of like a trailer voice, like the in a world, that kind of thing. But you're not allowed to do that in Halo because no one's allowed to have a deeper voice than Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief.
This is true. Right.
Yeah,
well,
finish this fight. Oh yeah, that would have been good.
I don't know. I don't know if she's in it or not anymore. I don't know what happened at the end of the last game. So.
Well, when they did that trailer, was that for the last game? Mm-hmm. Oh God, I can't remember.
I think she's carked it, mate.
I don't think anyone on Earth remembers what happened at the end of Halo 4 or 5.
Could I introduce you to my friend Bleezy?
Apart from Bleezy.
He had like a big tarp over his armour, and then there was a thing, and then he held like the empty thing that Katana was in.
And then he went back on ice for another couple of.
And then a game happened, and I started playing it, and it made me travel sick, and then I stopped playing it, and then I don't know what happened.
Good. Let's talk about what we have been playing.
So, apparently, here we go. Cortana has basically gone full crazy, and it implies that she's taking control over a Halo installation. Ooh. And that... the UNSC Infinity starts doing random jumps in order to escape Cortana.
We should do a Halo episode.
Where we just
bring
make
Bleezy
it
on,
all
and
up.
he will literally describe every single piece of the story of Halo. So, Bleezy, if you are interested, please let us know. But yeah, I think that could be really horrible. Should we talk about the games we've done played?
Yes!
As he looks at the clock quite upsettingly.
Yes. All this. We want a short episode this week.
I can be quick.
Yes, and we might come back to yours as well, Dan, because they're games that I want to play as well. But give your impressions.
Okay, so I have played two things. The first. SuperHOT. Mind Control Delete. This is the new shiny hotness, if SuperHOT would have you believe it.
Super hotness.
which is essentially a roguelite variant of SuperHOT.
Roguelite variant of SuperHOT.
So basically, the kind of the setup is that you're kind of in, well, essentially, it all kind of went a little bit Matrix at the end of the first SuperHOT. You're still in that, and you're trying to kind of find your way through that kind of digital nightmare which you inhabit. But this time around, you unlock hacks and kind of powers as you go, which either enable an extra, just kind of more health, or they enable quicker reloading, or they enable you to start a mission with a gun or a katana, that kind of stuff. So it's all got a bit more...
Cortana.
A Cortana, yes. A Cortana.
She's in my Windows OS.
I know, yeah, problem is she's got a bit of an open ring, though. That's the problem. So far, so good, right? Well, kinda. Now,
There's
of the things
no VR,
that
is there, Dan? That's the problem.
There's no VR for a start, which upset Kev. He went, oh yeah, sure, not going to fucking play it then.
It's so much better in VR.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
It is a different game. And, the only reason I picked this up is because I got it free. And the reason I got it free is because I bought, using cash money, the original SuperHOT. So if you have to, you've got a copy sitting in your Xbox games library or your Steam library ready to download.
I'm really cheeky with this because I got sent a review copy of SuperHOT, and therefore I have a free copy of SuperHOT.
How do you sleep at night, Coleman? How do you sleep at night?
I know, Gamergate. It's going to start up all over again.
So far so good. Sounds like it could be great. Well, actually, kind of no. It's kind of super not. I just came over that.
Not
super not.
Not.
Whilst the enemies are randomized, and essentially the setup is in each level you've got to shoot your way through a certain number of enemies before you can move on to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, and you get perks between levels sometimes and so on and so forth. And there is some variation insofar as there are some cheeky boys who you will only take damage on one bit of their body, or other ne'er-do-weller boys who won't drop their weapon when you hit them. So that's about as different as it gets. But the problem is all of the stuff takes place on pretty much the same 5 levels, and as a result of them trying to randomize everything, actually all of the great little level design things that the original SuperHOT did actually aren't present in this new version, and it gets really repetitive really quickly. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still some times where you feel like like you've done something really awesome, but it just becomes like, all right, okay, doing the same thing in the same level, all right, and you end up basically doing the same thing. So it all just becomes very one note, and that's a real disappointment. If you're going to be able to download those 3, great, go for it. Download it, have fun. Would I pay money for it? I don't think I would.
Oh.
So there we go. Do you want the other one?
Yeah, go for it, because, again, I think I started this yesterday and went, oh no, I've got so much work to do, I can't play this.
Carrion, that of the Devolver Digital Showcase. That finally unlocked. That's now available to play if you've got it on Game Pass, and I believe it's also playable on Steam and other digital shop fronts, such as the Switch.
This is the one with the kind of Flashpoint graphical style, but at the same time, you're the
it's
alien
like an
parasite.
Inverse scary monster game. You are the scary monster.
I like it.
You are the broken ring that is secreting its way around a base, trying to eat humans to become stronger.
It kind of looks like if you remember Inside, if that finished and then you carried on into this game, I wouldn't be surprised. Although that sounds like a spoiler for Inside. Ignore I said that.
Alrighty. But I mean, the premise of the game's really cool, that you get to play this monster who kind of spends quite a lot of time circumnavigating the universe via ball sphincters. And
Open ring simulator.
Yeah, exactly. Something about the broken ring. Just put your own joke about broken ring in there. It's fine. And it could be really cool. It could be a really, really cool game. But it's let down by really finicky controls, which get in the way of the enjoyment of what's ostensibly a really could be a really fun notion of being this kind of amorphous monster who's just trying to eat his way to victory. They might patch the controls a bit, but it was okay. I mean, it's a kind of a Metroidvania, you're the monster game, and it's an engaging enough game, I suppose. But is it as polished as I thought it would be, or as good a gameplay experience as I hope? Again, no, probably not. Aren't I a voice of cheeriness and reason this week?
Well, I have this one. I have Carrion installed on my PC, so I will give this a try.
Carry on zombifying people.
Carry on, my wayward son. I will give this a try and report back because I think there's some potential here, and I really want to get into this. Were you playing on controller as well?
I was playing on controller.
Okay, maybe some mouse and keyboard is needed in this situation. We'll see. Report back later.
So, Tim, that's how you do game reviews quickly, FYI.
Okay.
This is not a quick game to review, though. That's the problem.
I know. I'm strapping in. Ghost of Terra Masalata. Let's go.
Ghost of Terry Crews, Ghost of Terry Nutkins, Ghost of Chicken Teriyaki, Ghost of Terrascazi. That's all the jokes we got. Let's just carry on with the game. Tim, what did you think of Ghost of Tsushima?
I absolutely love the game. Like, I think my love of it may be influenced by the fact that I think when we were talking about Red Dead Redemption before, you said you always wanted to be a cowboy, Coleman. Like, I much more
Cowboy Coleman. That's what they call me.
I much more wanted to be.
Are you kidding me?
I much more wanted to be a wandering Ronin, I think, and this kind of fulfills that. Even though it hasn't kind of taken that kind of slightly more.
My dream has less cultural appropriation than yours.
Yeah, well, it hasn't taken the kind of trope necessarily of being a kind of Ronin, but it has set it up in a slightly different way that kind of gives you access to those stories. There is kind of lots of tropes taken in other areas with characters and kind of very typical characters for this type of setting, but I kind of like that. It's exactly kind of what I want to see. You play the part of Jin Sakai, who is a lord. Your father died when you were young, but your uncle kind of runs the local area. I'm not sure exactly what his title is, basically, but he's a lord.
Basically, you're up to trouble, getting into no good, start making trouble in the neighborhood. You get sent with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air, and
Yeah. The Fresh Prince of Tennessee.
Fresh Prince 2, Electric Boogaloo.
But yeah, basically, your mother dies when you're very young, your father gets killed when you're slightly older, and then you go and live with your uncle. But your uncle, I'm not sure exactly what his title is, but he's a kind of lord of an area.
The lord of the island,
but
basically.
they refer to you as a lord, so I'm not sure what his title is.
Well, I think you're like the lord because of the status of your family. He's like the lord in that of he runs the island of Tsushima, basically. He calls the shots. And that's why, because you encounter people in this island when they're saying, I need to save my uncle. So, well, what's in it for me? Well, what do you want? He's my uncle. He can do anything.
Yeah.
He's the guy who runs the island.
Yeah, he'll do anything.
Yeah.
So, you're playing the kind of part of this young lord, and basically, very early on in the game, the Mongols invade, and there's a massive battle in which most of your forces get wiped out, and you're kind of left for dead. And that kind of sets up the game, and then the initial first act is kind of all set up, and this isn't spoiling too much because it tells you this is the case. The initial first act is all about saving your uncle, and then without going into too much details, the later acts are kind of liberating the island a bit further and going from there, basically. And yeah, it's a story of the Mongols invading to Tsushima, and it's something where I really enjoy the gameplay. I quite like the way they've done the swordplay. A lot of people have said about it not having a lock on and that being a problem for them. I think it makes my movements feel more deliberate, and I have to be more exact with them, and I kind of really like it. I don't know how far you are through the game, Coleman, so I don't want to give spoilers for anyone. But
so as I do, because we do the video version of this podcast now, so I record all the content that all the game I'm playing. So I've played about 6 hours worth of game, which when cutting it for stuff that is suitable for podcasts that doesn't contain spoilers, I have about an hour's worth of content out of 6. But the kind of way this game is that it's open world, explore area, find icons, go to icons, unlock missions, side missions, unlockables, that kind of thing. But then the combat, as you've alluded to, is there's kind of 2 ways of doing the combat. One is technically there's 3 ways of doing the combat. One is the honorable samurai way, where you walk up, face me, take them one at a time.
Which I'm trying to adhere to and is really hard to do.
I do every time. I see people that are like 3... Because you can't really tell who's leveled above you in the kind of current day Assassin's Creed way.
It does tell you if you're encountering forces that are overwhelming, basically.
Yeah. But they usually tell you that in that you cannot beat this area. It's physically impossible because you're not meant to get past this area.
You must be at least this tall to go on this ride.
Yeah, if you see people that are in better armor than you're used to encountering, you've got a pretty good idea you're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
But I will go up and go, face me! Send me your best warrior! And then try to take them on one at a time. And this is where people are complaining. There's no kind of lock on to take, lock on this person and then go to this person and then go to this person. You've got to kind of wing it in directional if you are going to swap between multiple characters. What I kind of tend to do is focus on the one person, keep my eye on the... And because this game is basically Assassin's Creed if Ubisoft listened to their fans and didn't spin it off in a different direction and did make the Assassin's Creed Frugal Japan, all that kind of stuff.
This is the game I've wanted to make for years.
So
better than they possibly would have done, maybe. But anyway.
So, I mean, I haven't played this game yet.
Yeah.
Mea culpa. So, one of the things I have been having a look at the the reviews and criticism online, and it seems to be generally favourable, but a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, kind of as you guys alluded to, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed in samurai cosplay, for want of a better way to put it. But I have heard that it actually can get quite repetitive in the late game, and that the pacing of the difficulty's a bit weird. That it's far too hard in the beginning, a really good place in the middle of the game, but then you are just ridiculously overpowered for the end game content.
If you look at early reviews for Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, like a lot of those are very similar reviews. These are very boring games. Like they're very repetitive games. That comes up a lot. So what I'm saying is, if you do like the early Assassin's Creed games, then this game is for you, because what they've done is gone, rather than go, the evolution of this game is we're going to give you this big open world and just throw up all these icons on it. They're going to go, right, we're going to give you an open world, we're going to give you a section of it, kind of GTA rules. You get one island, one section of an island, and then you've got to kind of unlock everything on this island, or unlock all the story progression of this island, then you're going to move on to the next one after a boss fight. But the way they do it is kind of this natural progression of, oh, okay, I've got to do a mission over here by walking over to this, or riding my horse over to this area. I've unlocked 5 icons, and those 5 icons will give me... So it's a very kind of natural progression feeling in the way the game comes. You don't just open up and go, I'm going to find everything, because I don't know what these icons are, and OCD is driving me crazy right now.
But this is one of the games where I find Assassin's Creed overload me with those things, and I find this has got the balance just
the later
right
ones.
for me. Like, it's just like I want to go and do everything rather than feeling overwhelmed by the amount of things I need to do, kind of thing.
So what I'm saying is my playstyle, going back to my playstyle in this game, the lack of the lock-on is I will focus on the one person, but because of playing all those original Assassin's Creed games, I know what's going on around me. I can hear I'm listening for the right tones. I'm paying attention to the what someone's doing in my peripheral and stuff, and then I can roll out the way or deflect while still attacking the one person. But what you can do is use your analog stick and then quickly go, okay, I'm going to slice this guy and then block, and then I'm going to quickly turn and get this guy. So you can all
Super
it's all super hard.
But also,
it's all repetition to get the hang of it, and a lot of the gameplay that I've actually put in the video for this episode will show like a lot of me dying and getting beaten up and stuff, because it's getting the hang of it until you've found your rhythm, and then 6 hours in I've gone, I've got it.
But also it helps as you open up a little bit, because I think one of the things that not having a lock on does is mean that basically some of the like really super powerful things that you open up later on as the mythic move type things are literally a kind of lock on from one person to the other. You can still kind of direct them in the direction, but they kind of work in that sort of manner. But then I also think that as you unlock and you get, and it's not a spoiler because you kind of see it early on, but you get 4 different stances as you go through, and as you get deeper into the combat, you realise, and as the people that are coming at you get better at fighting you, you really need to kind of change the stance that you're in to match the person or the people that you're facing.
That's it, and that's kind of it. This is where I'm saying it's the evolution of the original Assassin's Creed combat, because in the original Assassin's Creed games, you could have like 20 people come up on you, and if you know what you're doing, it's wait. Someone will do something, circle to block, and then quickly X, and then you kill them instantly.
And
And you can do that in this, but there will be stances that will just like the first stance you unlocked will give you the ability to break people, well, not break people's shields, but make them stagger so you can attack them. So
that's
then
really
you've then. Yeah, it's very helpful early on. You've then got 4 different stances that you have to switch between on the fly, as well as do this combat that you'd be used to through the years of playing Assassin's Creed. But I've got to the point where I quite
fluidly do that and go, right, okay, I'm going to take out like the pikemen first and the shield guys, and then go for the archer. And like kind of like you get used to how you handle a big crowd. And you can do that. I really like the way they do the kind of standoffs, and I saw a criticism that said that was an overused mechanic. I don't think they could overuse that mechanic enough in the game for me. Like, I like it every time. I'm disappointed when I come across a new crowd of people and they don't let you do it, like in a base when you're going from one crowd to the next or something. But
yeah, that's the funny thing, because like you could be doing there's a standoff mechanic, as we said. The idea is you approach someone, you press up on the D-pad, and then it will bring you into this little cutscene area where you will then be face to face with one person from this clan that you're trying to face, and you will hold down the triangle button, and it's, if they go to strike you, you let go of triangle, and then you will slash them, and it will give you some.
And you can slash multiple people so. as you
go on. You unlock them.
Yeah, and
if you get it wrong, which as the game starts progressing, people do like flinches and stuff to try and get you to hit it early.
When they stop flinching after doing flinching for a while, that really got me.
It will take you. Well, I found out the trick. It's watch their feet rather than watch their hands. Yeah, when they step, that's when they're going to do it.
Good. Thanks,
Good. Dan looks like he really wants to say something.
Good.
No, it's fine. All I was going to really kind of say though is, what sets this game apart? What makes this different? What is the unique thing that Ghost of Taramassalata
For me, one of the things is it is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful in some places. Like, I haven't really messed around with the photo mode, but I have stopped to take photos in enough places in here. I've uploaded some to Twitter so I could put them on my phone easily and stuff like that, as well as my phone background. And yeah, like, as I said, for me, it's slightly like it's my kind of wish fulfillment of loads of like early kung fu films, as we would recall them as I was a kid, kind of thing. But like martial art movies and stuff growing up, and kind of animes like Ninja Scroll and other stuff that really kind of plays in there.
Jump in, Tim. I'd just like to point out this is probably the only review of Ghost of Tsushima and only podcast talking about it where we do not claim to be absolute fans of Kurosawa films.
I mean, look, I watched a couple of them as a kid. I know them in reference. Like, they're things that they're actually referenced. One of the things I came across, I interviewed the art director of Dragon Age 2 when I was over seeing their studio, and like he literally referenced Kurosawa as something that they referenced for the art direction of Dragon Age 2 and stuff like that. So it's something that's had lots of influence on games aside from this, the direct influences of something like this.
Oh yeah.
But you can really see the influence in this. The whole black and white mode and everything that they've put in there that like is named after him directly, and like. But there's loads of little references like that I think I appreciate more than some people would necessarily. I'm not saying I'm an expert in the field, but they're just little things that, little nods and things to, like the Straw Hat Ronins and stuff like that was something that I was like keen to see, and the fact that they played quite a key part in the story and stuff as well. But yeah, like
Got to admit, it might have been Little Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, the one issue I had with it is that there's a set of like ghost weapons which we haven't really talked about too much because it sounds like Coleman and I have tried to be honourable samurai, basically, yeah? The one thing I don't like about that is it kind of lectures you that you shouldn't use those things, but doesn't entirely make it clear. Like, there's no way of, like, disabling the buttons that you use for that. And one of your specials you get later on involves both bumpers. And if you time that slightly wrongly, you'll throw some of the ghost weapons, basically. And I don't know if ghost weapons count, and I'm guessing they don't. I'm guessing assassinates don't, but then do arrows count? Because that's something that they use in, like...
I mean, I think you only lose honour points if you go up to a corpse and teabag it. I think that's how that works. I think
that's the thing. There are no actual honor points in this game, and it's surprising because this is from Sucker Punch. Yeah. Sucker Punch made Infamous and Infamous 2.
Maybe they've got bored of that mechanic.
And well, yeah, they really overpowered on the karma mechanic in those games, and then they brought this game in where they're like, well, you can play good karma or bad karma, but there is no karma system. You're not going to affect the story. The people around you aren't going to be like, well, there's the dishonorable samurai.
Yeah, it feels like it could do with an honor system because that would actually back up a lot of the messaging it's giving to you in the game. And like I said, I'd like to be able to disable those weapons so that I couldn't have the option to use them if I wanted to. Because there's sneaky ways, like they make combat easier, but at the same time, if I'm trying not to use them, I don't want to.
I'm assuming the reason for not creating because they had this problem with the previous Infamous games was they created a system that allowed for separate endings, and by doing that, it then meant they went to the second game and went, by the way, you had the good ending or you had the bad ending. Like we are telling you what we had to do. With Ghost of Tsushima, this is based off an actual historical event where also, spoiler alert, the Mongols invaded twice.
Yeah.
So they are setting up for a sequel, I'm assuming, in this game. And also, we didn't mention this, the Mongol invaders, the kind of lead Mongol is the grandson of Genghis Khan.
Well, fictional grandson of Genghis Khan.
Boris Khan.
Yeah.
But I kind of, I kind of like the setup. I like having
Kevin Khan,
like antagonist and stuff. Like I
do
kind of
like
him as an antagonist.
It's very cool.
It works well. Like as I said, there's not much I am not enjoying about. Like I love it graphically. I love the gameplay. I love the setting. Like it's really got its hooks into me. So I'm really, really enjoying it, and will continue to do so for some time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh yes.
If there were a pair of villains, would they be an ant and decanist?
Yes.
They would be. Okay. All right. Good. I just thought I'd get that in. I got a bit bored. I'm not going to lie. I felt like I need to make a pithy joke.
That's fine. I think me and Tim need a side episode to talk more about this game.
Maybe a spoiler cast. When
we always threaten a spoiler cast, and we've never done it.
Spoiler alert: we can't be asked.
Anyway, I think it's a very good game. I am glad as this is the game for kind of capping off the PlayStation 4 in its exclusivity titles. It is a very good game. I hope down the line it gets a PC gig port of the game because the kind of setting and everything they throw into this game is very beautiful. The character models have a lot to be desired still, especially when we've just done The Last of Us Part 2 and they have the spot-on character models with the lip syncing and everything in place. With this one, that it's a bit lacking when you look in comparison, but what they then make up for is backgrounds. Here is open world backgrounds, and it's absolutely amazing. But again, this is Assassin's Creed. If they, after Assassin's Creed 2, went, let's listen to the fans, see what they want, and then made a game out of that, rather than carrying on the way they did and then eventually rebooting the series into this weird kind of Witcher RPG version of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It is very pretty looking. And the photo mode is hilarious because you can make really, really strong winds and add all these particles. So you could make loads of orange leaves fall around you and then turn the wind up to max. And then when you zoom the camera out, you're basically standing in a tornado of leaves. And you look like the start of Batman v Superman where the bats are climbing Bruce Wayne up. But what I will say about this game too, I do like this game. However, I would put this above Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
I would put this under. Yeah, I would put this under The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I think, because I know you're not a big fan of the Zelda games, Tim, and have never really been into them, I really do think if you have enjoyed this game so much,
I should go and play that.
I think Breath of the Wild might be one for you, because it is not like the previous Zelda games and is a lot like this.
I never thought, and even halfway through this generation, I wouldn't have thought this. Halfway through this generation, I would never thought I'd be ending this generation with 3 of my favourite games, and possibly my 3 favourite games, being open world games. Like, I did not expect that, because God of War, Spider-Man, and now this, and I'm not sure which order they'll be in by the end of things, basically.
Didn't you once write an article like, keep open world out my games?
Yes. Well, I just thought it was something where, we were losing.
This is what happens when you get a career in video games.
We were losing
right? Now you've hit the big time, Tim.
To be well directed, but they've managed to find a way to do that and tell a good story, and that's 3 examples of doing open world gaming really well to a really high caliber, basically, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm really looking forward to our end of the year show where we do our game of the year picks, because I think this is going to be our more decisive. I
already know what mine's going to
be. Destiny and its expansions.
Yes, that. Anyway, I think we should probably try and close this sucker out.
Probably a good idea.
Oh, what episode is it next week? Number 400, I hear you say.
Oh, God damn it. We've got to crap something out. I mean, we've got something special planned.
Yeah. We're going to take the week off.
Okay. So if you enjoyed our weird departure episode, where on episode 300 we had a choose your own adventure style podcast, Ed Price is coming back to do episode 400. So we're going to do it
have
all
you told
over
him
again.
this yet, or is this going to be a surprise to him as well?
Script it.
Yeah, he's got to get right because he doesn't know. We've got some stuff going on. But yeah, if you want to send your messages to, maybe congratulate us for the 400s, or tell us that we're a bunch of PlayStation shills for not liking the Xbox stream, or tell Dan that he's an idiot for not playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, it just makes a refreshing change from being called an Xbot most weeks that now we're PlayStation shills. So.
Oh yeah, and should add, by the way, saw news this week that Ghost of Tsushima had been I think it's the fastest selling game in Japan, and the fastest selling new IP now as well. Yes,
yeah. So it didn't be. I don't think. No.
Fastest selling PlayStation exclusive.
They said PlayStation exclusive new IP
debut
based off
new
an
IP
original property. So basically, that
rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
They basically went, it's the fastest selling PlayStation game if it isn't The Last of Us Part 2 or Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but that's good company to get.
It's the fastest selling game called Ghost of Tsushima that there's ever been in the world. Tsushima.
Anyway, if you want to get in contact with the show, you can do so on facebook.com/BigRedBarel. You can do on Twitter @BigRedBarel, and you can do on, of course, BigRedBarel.com, where you can get in contact with the show in the comment section, or on the front page in the right corner. We've got a little linky poo that will give you access to the Discord, which you can go on there.
Well, crikey, that's exciting.
Yes, our Discord is great. We love our Discord.
I love our Discord.
Our Discord seems to be growing each day, and I really, really like that, because that means more and more people can go on there and hit the emojis and hit "Eat My Dust," which is the best emoji there.
Eating my dust.
Eat my dust.
Right, community feedback. Guys, you want to pick one each?
Okie dokie. And No Man Was here. I have found your secret. I have found the list from which you draw all of your questionable animal-based questions, such as...
Scandal.
Do you know that fruit fly swarms are just orgies? And this one ended up with me finding a picture, what can only be described, of a monkey with a long nose, looking very pleased and excited. Where basically...
Without boosting up the image, I know what monkey you're talking about.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
monkey.
A proboscis monkey, and they taunt each other with rage-ons.
Tim's a professional video gamer.
Yeah,
I want to be an internet monkey.
Have we
That's
ever
fine,
done?
Coleman, you can be a professional internet monkey.
Have we ever done anything similar to getting basically what's he's terming a rage-on?
Right, okay.
I've played Rage. Does that count? I've played Rage 2 too.
Did it excite you?
Maybe.
No.
Sure. So the question is it is known proboscis monkeys taunt each other with rage-ons. Have you ever done something similar? Not since I lived with Tim.
No, there has been no gentle-based madness that I've engaged in.
Tim, you want to pick a question?
Yeah, I was going to go with one of Pete's. I was tempted by the second one, but I think we'll save that for next week because that's a good one for next week. And this one is more relevant to this week. So, why was the Xbox showcase disappointing? Have they already lost the next generational war before it even started?
Let me jump right in here with nip this nonsense right in the bud.
Nonsense, you say?
There is no war.
I think
finally all of the three major players are actually now catering to different markets.
Yeah, they're actually carving out their own niche.
Yeah, I think no matter where you look, there are great games to be had, and you know, look, you play games, you enjoy games. It doesn't matter what system you play them on.
Yeah, but I agree with his initial.
That's only 'cause we're adults.
I agree with his initial assessment that it was a little bit disappointing. But I do think, as you say, as we kind of alluded to, there is a different niche being carved out by each platform holder, and that's actually quite a good thing for gamers. You can you can either go after the one that best suits like the games that you want, or best suits the way that you want to play those games in some ways. I also think Xbox have slightly taken themselves out of the conversation of console sales because
yes, they have quite consciously.
And it hasn't been a favourable comparison to them. But now in the next generation, it won't matter as much. They can say, well, it doesn't matter. We've got this many people on this platform. We've got this many people on this platform. And I don't think it will be as directly comparable, and I think it's right for them not to be as directly comparable because it is a different thing. I also think we've also seen console manufacturers in the past complain about the fact that they don't make money on the consoles, or they make a loss on the consoles. I think that's no longer as true as it was.
Unless you're Nintendo,
but there's still a lot, to be put into the production of a console and selling it to someone. And if you take that out of the equation, I think that's quite an interesting thing that Xbox are positioning themselves to possibly do.
Well, I mean, one thing that I'd just like to interject there and just remind Coleman that while we're talking about, platforms and, it doesn't matter which platform you play games on, blast processing is utter bum, okay?
I know it is. Don't mock me for being a Sega kid. Come on.
Especially as it'll be 2-on-1, so...
Just kind of adding to what Tim's said, I feel that the platform has moved, and in the last generation, Xbox were solidly looking towards the future. Like, what can we do with the future of our service? How can we improve upon it and bring all these new things to customers? What they brought were things that people were not ready for. And we mocked it. Like, I was on a different show, I mocked it, you guys mocked it. And then when they brought it to fruition, they had to change a load of stuff to make the Xbox what it was, and then eventually bring it to what it is. What they're doing now is they've still got that view in their eyes. We know what the future is of gaming. However, we're going to take the middle ground and we're going to bring out the console. We're going to make the service and stuff. We'll let Google make the mistakes. We'll let PlayStation stay in the past, and we'll sit right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what they're doing.
Yeah.
And more power to them. And I've got a real big feeling that Xbox are going to really undercut the PlayStation with their price on their console. By the way,
and also their business model now is probably not that reliant on you purchasing hardware. It's actually their business model is going to become about getting you signed up to Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. If you sign up to a Game Pass because you're like, hey, I really want this game, but I don't want to spend £60-70 or whatever the new pricing is for the new generation. I don't want to spend that money on the game. I know I'll pay however much to get Game Pass. Oh, I might as well get the full Game Pass package and get the everything included. So that's like over £10 a month. So that's more than £120 a year that they're making, because they're doing the Netflix model and every single recurrent service model of sign up, take your free thing, get your money's worth, play your game, forget you have it, keep it on. Oh, something else might come up. You're likely to spend, if you're a casual gamer, you're likely to spend more money on subscription service than you are for actually buying the game itself.
I also think they're more likely to retain people on the current Xbox and play and paying for Game Pass if even if you don't buy an Xbox Series X this year or even next, like, you're more likely to continue to pay them if you're getting something in return and you think you might eventually buy one of the platforms. And we spoke about it a while ago that we do think that Xbox have quite cleverly identified clever ways to position themselves as your second console, basically, kind of thing, you know? Like,
Yeah. All right, last one. By the way, that was from Pete from Rapid Reviews UK. I was checking out his site
Pete
the
from
other day.
Rapid Reviews UK.
Yeah, he's got a good site. I would like to take one from Skydark on Discord. Question of the week. What game from your childhood should be compulsory for everyone to play at least once? I will go first. Super Mario Brothers on the NES. I think that is the perfect introduction to gaming. If not, Tetris on the Game Boy.
I was going to say Tetris. That's probably my pick on the Game Boy.
That is a good shout.
Yeah, that'd probably be my pick.
And also, you know, like at this, I'm in my mid-30s now. I've got friends that have had kids that have kids that are now older kids, you know, but I've seen them raise their kids for gaming and go, well, we got them a Nintendo to bugger about with because they can play Mario. And then they're basically training them in gaming, going through the old school, working their way up to the newer consoles. I like that.
Also, Mario Kart,
Super
just
Mario
for
Brothers.
multiplayer and kind of... I like racing games, and that's kind of it's in the most simplest form almost, and it's got a kind of competitive shooting element to it as well, kind of thing. So like, there's a few things that's covered well by Mario Kart, and it's family friendly, all entertaining game as well.
I would like to point out this is meant to be games from your childhood, you guys. So you've got Pong.
Right, I was talking about River Raid last week.
I was going to go Tiddlywinks. Is what I was going to go for.
Yeah, you did that on the Discord.
I know.
Yes.
When I told, I was like, "Damn it! I should have saved that for the show." But I don't know. I'll probably go. I think Super Mario World actually.
Oh, what, the SNES version? That is my favorite Mario game.
It's a really nice. It's got it caters to all kinds of people, that game, and if you want to go full on down the rabbit hole, there's a lot of stuff to unlock, and that's very satisfying in that game. If you go for the full 96-star clear, there is a lot of stuff to enjoy.
Played a lot of that game. I remember like having my big rage quit on that game and breaking a SNES controller. Right,
I think we should go now.
Please.
Because I need to start preparing for the joy that is episode 400. Which is going to be a thing next week. So please make sure that, well, I would say tune in or download if you want to.
We're going to put it on the radio just so you can tune in. It'll be just after War of the Worlds.
Yes, indeed. So thank you for downloading us once again. We hope you join us again next week for more of this nonsense. As Coleman has already said, go check us out on internet.com/BigRedBarel. Put anything in the internet, put /BigRedBarel after it. You'll find us there. And come say hi on Discord because it's a super fun thing to do.
Super fun.
Anyway, we are gonna call it a week. So all that really remains is for me to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been a dripping wall proboscis.
No, don't go there again.
Wall sphincter.
Bringing it back.
At least you didn't go to open ring.
Wall sphincter. Open wall sphincter.
No. Why are all space doors look like sphinxes?
It's winking at me.
Why is that a thing, eh?
I think that's quite enough of this nonsense. So thank you so much for listening, and until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Are quite welcome
for the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
to BigRedBarel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
I'm seriously considering taking apart my older Joy-Cons and ordering some new cases and buttons and stuff because I am struggling to play a few games. Ice cream.
Yeah, I've got one of those. Problem is,
No,
I don't know.
please.
I don't know about you, Coleman, but one of the problems I have with roving ice cream people,
COVID-19 people,
and their ilk, they are a people. I reckon they are a people. In the same way that the traveller community, there is also the ice cream person community, and they live in their little vans. And the only problem I have is that all the songs they play, I like Hitler's Only Got One Ball, for example. I don't know what the proper version of that song is.
This one plays Popeye.
My one around here plays Popeye as well.
Yeah.
It might be the same guy. I last heard him about an hour and 20 minutes ago.
There you go. He was making his way off to...
Sailor Man.
Anyway, what I was
He
trying to
lives
say...
in a frying pan. And this isn't going to be at all awkward. Here are a bunch of games that we all hope look like this when we finally publish them. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was great. Loved it. Seamless.
Considering you spoke like that as you introed this show, I don't think you should be throwing stones down.